going to teleport back to March 7th and become that team right away. We have to basically wipe the slate clean and we start over.
Tunnel vision on what's coming in front of us, to hopefully achieve some of those goals that we didn't have the chance to achieve last year.
Do we have a lot of experience? Yes. And we gained a lot from last year? Yes. Do we have a lot of confidence and a swagger about us and believe that we can be really good? Yes. But that you still have to go produce every day.
Welcome into the Kohl Center, and man, it's great to be able to say that. Alongside Mike Lucas, I'm Matt LePay. Welcome to our inside look at Wisconsin basketball, a team with coming off of a championship season last year in the Big Ten Conference and a lot of high hopes and expectations this season. Good to be back here. It's been a while, Luke.
It's great to be back. It's been only 252 days since Wisconsin clinched a share of the Big Ten championship at Indiana. It's been a long, challenging wait, but an exciting wait as well because of the returning personnel on this team.
Did Potter give you that number? I know he likes to count days.
He's good at counting days,
isn't he? Somebody else who's pretty good, period, joined now by Brad Davison. This is senior privilege while the guys are going through some drills right now. Brad sitting with us. Brad, let's first off, let's give folks an idea. What are they seeing? What's the drill here to start the practice?
Right here is our typical USA shooting drill. So it's a good way to get the shot loosened up, get the legs warmed up, get up and down a little bit. Make sure you get the voices going. The goal is to be as loud as you can, so hopefully you can hear my teammates in the background talking it up.
There you go.
Brad, where are you physically right now? And maybe give us an overview of where this team is physically getting ready for the start of a year.
Yeah, personally I feel great. A lot of the guys were extremely healthy, so that's a huge blessing for us. You always want to go into the year with a clean bill of health, especially these days. So the guys feel great. I think physically everyone's refreshed, but mentally we're refreshed too. Like you said, it's been a long time coming since we've gotten the chance to play and compete against someone other than a Wisconsin Badger. So we're looking forward to that opportunity.
Brad, it's the first time I think fans have had a chance to see you and hear from you since March 7th. It does seem like a long, long time ago, but take us through that. The way you guys played down the stretch and to win the title, you had the game-sealing free throws. What do you take with you from that day, not just this year, but just maybe moving forward when you're 35, 45 years old?
Right. Every season's a process. You start at square one, and the goal is to be playing your best ball in March. And so that's something that we did extremely well last year. We got it clicking at the right time, and now our challenge is to take that momentum and start from day one here in 10, 11 days. I'm not as good as counting as Mike. I just kind of focus on one day at a time, but definitely whenever you can get a ring and a championship, something special that you'll hold on to. But that's the cool thing about, having another year is we get to go for it again.
Brad, what do you think will be the advantage of having so much experience on this roster with so many seniors?
We've been through it all. We've kind of been through the ringer in every facet of life and every facet of a season. We've had our hills and valleys, and we've been through it, and we've stuck together. That's most important, is we have a very united bunch. We've been through a lot together. And it's kind of just binding us closer and closer. So I think our biggest advantage is we know what makes us successful, and that's the sum of all of our pieces is much greater than any individual. So when we stay together and we stay confident, we're going to be a tough out.
I know having a full season of Micah, I know Micah's excited about that. I think all of you guys are. Micah's got a life event coming up, though, in the summertime, and you are going to be a part of it, I understand, one of the groomsmen for the wedding day for Micah.
I am. I'm very excited. June 11th, big day. I hear about it all the time in the apartment, and we're looking forward to it. Him and his fiancée, Elle, not only is he a great basketball player, but just two great individuals. And so very thankful to be a part of that day and looking forward to it. Hopefully we have some more things to celebrate before then.
You guys hit it off right away, right, in his process of coming here from Ohio State. You two in particular really seemed to click, didn't you?
Yes, he's my roommate. We spend a lot of time together, whether it's in the gym, in the weight room, or just going out to dinner, whatever it is. We clicked right away. We're raised very similarly, have similar values, and we hold each other accountable. It's someone I look up to a lot in a lot of different areas of his life. He's extremely disciplined, has a great work ethic, and so someone I'm really thankful for sure.
Great to see you, man. Look forward to watching you guys play. Take care.
Appreciate you.
That is Brad Davison, and now let's take a look at the rest of the 2020-2021 Wisconsin Badgers.
I lean forward. I'm a senior forward from Lawrenceville, Georgia, and I look forward to getting back at the Kohl Center and getting back on the floor.
What's up, everybody? I'm Trice, senior guard from Dayton, Ohio, to be exact. And I'm super excited to bring Chase again.
What's up, guys? Brad Davison here. I'm a senior guard from Maple Grove, Minnesota. Looking forward to our last dance.
Hey, I'm Nate Reavers, senior big man from Lakeville, Minnesota. Looking forward to getting out there and defend our Big Ten title. Next up, we got Micah, who was just recently engaged to the love of his life. God bless him.
What's going on? I'm Micah Potter, senior from Mentor, Ohio. And I'm looking forward to actually being able to play the entire year and repeating and getting another ring.
Hi, my name is Trevor Anderson. I'm a senior. I'm from Stevens Point, Wisconsin. Next up is Carter Higginbottom, and he can't guard me.
How you guys doing? I'm Carter Higginbottom, aka Boogie, and I'm a redshirt sophomore here. And I can't wait to have another amazing season. Go Badgers.
What's up? My name is Joe Hedstrom, redshirt sophomore center from Hopkins, Minnesota, and I'm excited to create a year of memories with my guys.
Hi, I'm Tyler Wall, sophomore forward from Lakeville, Minnesota. Go Badgers.
My name is Ben Carlson. I'm a freshman forward from Gard, Minnesota. I'm looking forward to start playing this season.
My name's Carter Gilmore. I'm a freshman forward from Harlan, Wisconsin, and I'm looking forward to my first year as a Badger.
Hi, I'm Justin Taphorn. I'm a freshman guard from Pekin, Illinois, and I'm excited to be here for my first year.
Hey, I'm Steven Kroll from Eager, Minnesota. I'm a freshman forward, and I'm just excited to get started.
Hi, my name is Jordan Davis. I'm a freshman guard here. I'm looking my first season here to be back.
My name is Johnny Davis. I'm a freshman guard from across Wisconsin. Go Badgers.
Our inside look at the Wisconsin Badgers continues here at the Kohl Center, joined now by senior guard Dimitri Trice. And Meech, we talked to your teammate Brad a couple of seconds ago. What do you see with this team? Obviously, it's a strange time we're all living through right now, but how have things gone for you personally? How have things gone for this team getting ready for the season?
Honestly, this is the most together group that we've had, I think so. I've been a part of a lot of teams, and I think that this group has a lot of pieces to get the job done this season and reach our goals that we have set for us team-wise and personally. I think we have the pieces in the right places, and the coaches are doing a great job this offseason of getting us prepared for what's to come.
Dimitri, what are going to be some of the strengths of this team this year? Maybe you can relate it to the drill that we're watching right now, where you're trying to get up as many shots in transition as possible.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of upside to a lot of different things this year. I think that transition is going to be a big thing for us, getting up and down a little bit more than we have in the past. But I think we have a lot of versatile guys, a lot of guys that can stretch the floor. 1 through 5 can really shoot it from outside. And then I think the coaching has definitely changed a little bit, even from last year, that has adapted to the guys a lot better than we have in the past, and I think that's going to help us in the long run as well.
And it seemed like that really benefited you because you really played some great ball individually, your whole team did, but I think people saw you score in some different ways, and like your game opened up a little bit. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, definitely. I think where I'm at my best is ball screens. And the coaches found that out, and they really pushed my limits, especially in practice, to give me a lot more ball screens, and then it just flowed well in the game, especially having Micah there, setting a lot more ball screens, especially in transition and things like that, I think. Had definitely helped me improve my game, but then also guys started knocking down shots, and that's when those assist numbers, because I don't do it by myself. Somebody has to score the ball that I pass it to, so I gotta tip my hat to the guys as well.
How will the versatility affect the defense as well? You have an opportunity to play big or small, and it seems like you have some length on the wing, so expand on that a little bit.
Yeah, we have a lot of guys that are hopefully going to play this year. 1 through 10 guys can guard 1 through 5, and I think that our bigs can come out and guard the ones. Our ones can go and guard the other team's bigs. So I think that our team philosophy on defense is definitely going to be to get stops and to play our hard-nosed, gritty Wisconsin defense that we've always known. But having that versatile defense that we have, with a 1 through 5, being able to guard and switch everything will definitely help throughout the season.
This seems like a really exciting freshman class, Dimitri, with Johnny and Steve, all of them really. What's the best piece of advice that you've been around now a little while, what's the best piece of advice you give those guys?
Honestly, putting in the extra work is always a plus, and I think that the core group of guys that we got bringing in are smart individuals. They come in, they know what they need to do, they play their role. And I think as a freshman, it's just about knowing your role. And I think that the guys have fit in really well. All of them have done a really good job in practice, competing. And I won't be surprised if we see 4 of them out there on the court at some time this year.
Dimitri, how is this team geared to get off to a much better start than it did last year? I know Coach Gard has emphasized better, faster.
Yeah, Coach emphasizes we want to have better shots, but more of them. And we've definitely pushed that in practice a lot, especially in transition. We've gotten our plays together, but we have a older group of guys this year. So I think that it helps a lot for the coaches that they know that we have a senior class that knows how to play. We are really, really experienced. And he doesn't have to do too much coaching, if that makes sense, when the guys are out there on the court, because we have a core group of guys that know what their roles are and know how to play.
Practice is great. You guys are ready for a game, aren't you?
Definitely. We're so ready. Less than 2 weeks. We're super excited.
All right. Thanks for your time, man. We look forward to watching you play.
Appreciate it.
All right. That is Dimitri Trice. Stay with us. More to come as we continue our inside look at Wisconsin basketball. Up next, assistant coach Orlando Tucker. Stick around.
Just because we can't all cheer together at Badger basketball games this season doesn't mean you can't get inside the Kohl Center. Be a part of our legendary game day atmosphere by securing your very own Bucky Board, presented by BMO. By purchasing a cutout of yourself, your friends, and family, or even your beloved pet, you can show your Badger pride and have your face in the stands for every men's and women's basketball game at the Kohl Center this season. For details or to order, visit uwbadgers.com.
Inside look at Wisconsin basketball continues. Happy to be joined now by assistant coach and the all-time leading scorer for Wisconsin basketball. He's a lot more than that, too, let me tell you. Orlando Tucker, great to see you, man. You doing well? Everybody good?
Everybody's great, man. It's actually a good day to see some civilization in the building outside of the red and white jerseys that we're always seeing in here. So it seems like some normality coming back to us.
Mike and I feel the same way. It's great to be back here to see you guys. Give folks an idea of what we're seeing out here on the floor right now. What's the drill?
This is called the change and go drill. We like to put a lot of emphasis on communication defensively. So when coach yells change, he lets them run their normal offense. Eventually when coach yells change, they have to drop the ball, and then each individually guy on defense, they have to make sure that they cannot guard the same person. So they have to rotate, they have to talk. In the half court, it remains in the half court. So offense gets the ball, they can attack. If coach yells go, then it goes directly to transition. So all the rules apply. The offensive team drops the ball, and the defensive team becomes the offensive team. They take off in transition, but you cannot guard the same guy that you had. So at that point, again, you have to be able to use your communicative skills. You got to be able to talk, build that trust and that communication with each other to understand that we're in scramble mode now. So it recreates a scramble kind of mode on defense and changing it from offense to defense. So it's just the principles, or the emphasis is put on being able to talk, be able to identify, and hey, when you get it and guys are in scramble mode, attack the rim. Try to see if you can score.
It's amazing. Sometimes people take communication for granted, but it's such a huge part of everything you do at both ends of the floor, isn't it?
Yes, communications is key, right? Because that's how teams build trust and chemistry, right? If I can trust that I hear you behind me, or I hear you and you're saying we're talking, and again, that's the first form of understanding how to build trust within each other, offensively and defensively. And again, if my teammate's talking to me, I know he has my back. If you're quiet, I don't know where you are, so it's hard to build that trust during that time.
And I think as a transition happens, Tuck, from high school to college, and we see some of the freshmen out there right now. Johnny and Jordan Davis is out there that I can see right away. Is that a big part of it too, just knowing at this level you better communicate, because if you don't have a chance?
Yeah, they find out really quick. They've been finding out early. Guys are driving right past them. They're understanding their footwork has to be better. And when you get to every level that you step up, you have to focus even more on fundamentals, right? So a lot of these guys in high school, you can just purely make it off your athletic abilities, right? When you get here, everything, all the emphasis on your footwork and the priorities to being able to do the right things and rip and be strong applies. So if they're not talking, they're not really understanding where to be, it shows really well. It shows very quickly.
Tuck, you played on some teams here who had a wealth of talent and high expectations. Wisconsin comes into this season number 7 in the country. What do you talk to these players about as far as handling those preseason expectations?
Yeah. Don't rank watch. As simple as that. Don't rank watch, right? We have to embody the same mindset that we had when we weren't ranked. When no one. Because again, I always welcome the target on my back. I never watched the rankings though. But I knew, as an athlete, you know what guys are ranked coming in your facility, your building. But you can't live by that. You can't live by it. You can't die by it. That's just a ranking. You just as quickly you're ranked top 10, you lose one game, you're out of it. So you can't put all the, I guess, pressure on yourself to say, hey, we got to remain in here. We got to take it one day, one game, one practice at a time. And I think the guys have really understood that mindset because we have a bunch of upperclassmen. So they're teaching the young pups the ways of the litter.
It's a great way of putting it. Tuck, I want to ask you about a couple of the veteran guys here. I know we'll talk more with Coach Gard about the rookies here, but we're seeing Trevor Anderson with the ball in his hand right now, an extra year removed from the knee issue. Aleem Ford really emerged. What have you seen from those two guys specifically here in the course of camp?
Oh man, Trevor, you could just see the confidence in his physical abilities. Last year he was battling a confidence, I guess the mental aspect of how do I feel, I'm not really comfortable being back out and pushing himself. You can see his confidence level has risen, and his playmaking ability is unparalleled. He just understands the game really well, and it shows in practice. Same with Aleem. He's riding off the confidence of last year, and his built. He's taken more of a vocal leadership role. It's one of the things that we've talked about, me and him personally, and I've seen it throughout practice of being vocal. He's a guy that people listen to. Last year, he didn't talk a lot. It was more through his actions, but I think he's really risen his communicative skills and taking the challenge of being a vocal leader out there, and I think it's displaying in his game as well. He's making some moves. He's dribbling the ball, handling it a little bit more. So, it's just hard to tell during these times when the bright lights come on. That's when everybody has to sustain that same kind of confidence.
Let's follow up on that with your two bigs, Nate Reavers and Micah Potter. How have they coexisted this year?
Oh man, the great thing about these guys is they understand. They all set a goal for each other, right? They all set a goal for each other individually, and bringing that over to the team goals. They've pushed each other on the opposite ends, and then at the same, they're normally pushing each other opposite of each other in opposite jerseys. But they've embodied understanding that they know what they need to do to play against each other. You can see them talking against each other. It gets really competitive at times where they're face to face. You need that type of competitive nature, competitive spirit when we're playing. But they've both been great. They provide a dynamic for Wisconsin basketball that it's unparalleled across the country. It's bigs that can shoot it at the rate that they can shoot it, at the clip that they're knocking down threes. It's unparalleled, like I said. So it's a great dynamic to have because you can spread the floor, and you got guys like Trevor being able to, guys like Demetric Trice being able to. I think one of the things Meach is really taking on, he has to captain this ship as well. He has to get guys in position to be able to score the basketball, and he's going to take that role. And he did a great job of limiting his turnovers, putting guys in position, being a playmaker. So I see it also across the board with our veteran guys that they understand their roles right now.
You know what I see, Tuck? I'll make an assumption, which is always dangerous. I just see the competitive nature of this. Maybe you and a now healthier Coach Krabenhoff, well, you were healthy too with the wheel, you're not going to be needed as much to be practice player coach. I know you're always willing to step in.
Yeah, so that's the gift and the curse. Like, we have good guys, but from a competitor, I never lose my competitive spirit. And the delicate balance that me and Coach Krabenhoff has had to deal with is not being able to step out there. So we complain about having to do it sometimes too much, but then when it's taken away from us, we're like, hey man, we sure miss being out there on the court trying to go at these guys. So we just have to limit it to every once in a while I'll step in some drills or some shooting competitions with the guys. But other than that, man, it's been fun.
All right, appreciate that update, man. Great seeing you. Take care. All
Likewise.
right.
Thank you.
That's Orlando Tucker. Stay with us. Our inside look continues. Coming up, head coach Greg Gard here at the Kohl Center.
Do you have a child who is an avid Badger fan? Make sure to sign them up for Bucky's Kids Club, presented by Culver's. Members will receive exclusive access to youth events with the Badgers, activity packets, video content, and more. Best of all, it's free. So don't delay and sign up today at uwbadgers.com/kidsclub. Thanks to Culver's for their support of Wisconsin athletics.
Time to hear from the head coach and watch some 5-on-5. Is joined now by Big Ten Coach of the Year, Greg Gard, head coach of the Big Ten champion Badgers of last season. And Greg, I think you get asked, I know Paul does with football, does it start to look like football? Is it starting to look like basketball, what you're seeing? Well, obviously right now, but you like what you're seeing here in camp?
I do. So far they've really competed. There hasn't been a day go by that they haven't really gotten after each other, and I've mixed and matched. I don't think they've been on the same team 2 days in a row, so it's been good. They've all challenged each other. I think our upperclassmen have done a terrific job trying to lead our younger guys, and they've done it by being positive, but they've also done it by at times trying to kick their butt every day in practice too. So we're off to a good start. Obviously, it's been odd, with not having an exhibition, not having a scrimmage, but a lot of this type of stuff, a lot of competition in practice.
How have you compensated for not having as many 5-on-5 situations since the end of last season?
Yeah, we've done more scrimmaging. We didn't the first maybe week and a half, 2 weeks, but I think we've implemented more 5-on-5 faster than we normally would have, just knowing we didn't have a spring, summer, and fall as normal, and we also didn't have, we don't have the exhibitions, as I mentioned.
Were you able to work on other facets of your game when you weren't going up and down the floor?
Yeah, we did a lot of. It was a lot of individual work because that's all we were allowed to do in the summer. We couldn't do anything competitively. We had to do individual work because that's what we were mandated to do from a health protocol standpoint.
We're seeing some of the young guys out there right now. We talked to Coach Tucker a little bit, but you see a Stephen Crow, number 22, Ben Carlson, number 20, to name a couple, and Johnny Davis, number 1. What have you seen from those young guys now as they get acclimated into the college level?
Well, what I've noticed with specifically the two big guys, they've really they understand how to play. They both pass it really well, although there wasn't a great pass by Ben, so it went out of bounds. But I think they've had a very quick understanding of what we want to do, and they both know how to play. And Johnny, just competes. He's obviously athletically, he can make up for maybe some learning that he's still got to acquire as he gets older in the program. But they've all three, along with our other freshmen, have all, like I said, made practices competitive every single day. So.
Good find right there.
Yeah, find out there. I mean, that's Stephen Crow. He's got such a good feel for the game. He's got to get stronger in the upper body, but his lower body has really come along, even though his time in the weight room has been short so far, but just doesn't get rattled, knows how to play. There's, a terrific drop to the floor to Nate, and that's kind of what he's done here for the first 3 weeks.
Greg, when you look at the transition for implementing the freshmen into your program, it's got to be a big benefit to have so many seniors to mentor them.
Yeah, and it was intentional to bring in a big freshman class, and I've talked about that with our big senior class because I had a pretty good idea that our seniors were going to be really good leaders, and that's proven to be exactly the case. And we've obviously our seniors understand what it takes with the culture, what it takes day in and day out to march towards a championship. And I wanted our freshmen to be able to learn from that. And like I said, our seniors, there's not a day goes by that I don't see a Potter or a Reavers or a Davison grabbing one of the freshmen and putting their arm around them right after a drill ends and talking them through some things that maybe didn't go well or things that did go well. So that's having the exact input that we wanted to, and effect that we wanted it to have.
One of those seniors you just mentioned with Micah Potter, I know he's openly talked about it took him time to really understand how you want things done on the floor, especially on the defensive end, which is not unusual for anybody new to the program. Have you seen a progression there? You did toward the end of last year, I think, but are you seeing a continuation of that progression with him defensively?
Yeah, he has. He's gotten a better feel for what we want to do, and it takes, it's the bigs are in a hard position. Ball screens are prevalent now. It's the way the game has gone, and it puts a lot of pressure and a lot of decision making on a big every single possession. So, it's a lot of reps, as you saw the 4-on-4 change drill we did. We change the screens in that daily. If we do it 2-3 times a week, we'll do different things. But ball screens and how we defend ball screens is I think that and transition defense are probably the two things we work on the most from a defensive concept.
It's kind of interesting envisioning how much flexibility you're going to have as far as who you put on the floor at the same time. And I would think right now that it looks like you're going to have pretty good depth overall.
Yeah, I think, we'll see as we continue to move through, and obviously competition will dictate some of that too in terms of who we're seeing in terms of our defensive lineups, who we're going to have to match up with. But I think it's at times hard to play 10, but I think there's 10 that can be right in the mix. And the 3 freshmen, along with our 7 returners. I know Tyler Wall's not out here today. We're resting him. He's a little banged up, so we just decided to give him a couple days here to rest up and heal up. So he'll be back next week. And but I think there's 7 really solid veterans, and then the freshmen get a chance to to learn without the weight of the world on their shoulders.
Greg, I know every season is unique. It's its own chapter, I guess you could say. But given what these returning guys have had to deal with, and Badger fans watching know what we're talking about, is it a help now in the world we're living in with the the fear of COVID and all that? Does that help these guys, a mature group? Does that help them navigate everything that's going on now?
It does, and I think as we've talked about a lot. No group has gone through more adversity than this group in terms of any group I've been around in 30 years of coaching, and that goes back to, Howard Moore and his family's car accident, a year and a half ago, and how that has brought this group together and how they've used that as kind of a anchoring point to help them through adversity. And whether it was the season shutdown last year for the Big Ten and NCAA tournament, or what has happened here through the summer and fall so far, this group has seen real life adversity. So delaying a little bit or having to do individual workouts instead of a full team workout really isn't that big a deal. They can handle it and have done just fine with it.
You mentioned Coach Moore. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. You and your staff had a chance to take the trophy in when you saw Howard back in March. What kind of update can you give us about Howard?
Yeah, we were there, a couple days after we'd won at Indiana, and then within 2 days later, COVID hit, and none of us knew what COVID was, or coronavirus, or pandemic, or any of that stuff until that point in time in March, and at that point in time, then the facility went on lockdown, and rightfully so, because there's a lot of high-risk individuals in there, and that's kind of where it stayed. I know his family has been in a little bit to see him here recently, but in terms of us being able to go see him and have contact with him, that's not permissible. So he's made some progress. I think there's still, it's a long road back continually for him, but I think he's been able to stay safe during this, which is important. And his family's been able to stay safe with his mom and dad, and obviously Jarrell there at home. And so it's been a day-by-day process, and obviously the coronavirus has obviously impacted the family's ability to have contact with him consistently. It's gotten a little better here recently, but still on a very minimal and very safe guidelines when that does happen.
Would you say your staff has found a little bit more equilibrium too, just working together, working through what we just discussed?
Yeah, I think that's, last year I thought they did a phenomenal job given, everything that had come at them. And obviously the recruiting class we were able to put together with this group, these freshmen that are out here, and so he signed 3 guys this past Wednesday that'll join us next year. So, and they're both Krabanoff and Tucker had off-season surgery, so their playing careers, they've really stayed out of everything. They talk a big game, but they've yet to really put on the practice gear, and I don't think they will be putting it on at all. We've got enough bodies now where they can stand and become true coach and not maybe player coach all the time.
Yeah, Tuck was saying he gets the itch every now and then, but maybe he's old enough now and has had some repair work done where, as you said, maybe the smarter side of him prevails.
Yeah.
There.
There's a lot more bark than bite with his game right now. He'll be the first one to admit it as he chirps with the players. The bark is a lot more direct than what the bite really is.
It's got to be exciting for everyone within the Big Ten Conference, recognizing the strength at the top of this league with so many teams ranked 3 in the top 10. This is going to be a really competitive season.
Yeah, it's going to be as usual, it's going to be a dogfight. I mean, you talk about the 3 ourselves, Iowa and Illinois, but then you go right down through the list. I mean, you could shuffle. Rutgers is going to have almost everybody back. Michigan State's going to be really good. Michigan, I think, is going to be good. Indiana will be better. I mean, you just go on and on and on. Northwestern played a lot of freshmen last year. I expect them to take another step forward. So there are, as always, I don't know if I can get copyrights or trademark on there are no get well games, Matt. Can you check into that?
You should, man. I'll look into that for you.
There aren't any. There's not going to be any more this year as well.
No, this year was, or last year, the league was as tough as ever. Less than a minute. How's Van de Wettering doing here with the scheduling?
I tell you what, there's the hardest working man in America right now. I mean, it's a good thing he's got a good eraser on his dry erase board in his office with the schedule, because it is like almost hourly. I walk back after a phone call or a meeting with our coaches or the league and go, hey, let's have a little chat. We might have to change some things. So nothing's been put in ink. We're trying to walk forward and make sure we're ready to go November 25th, which it looks like all things point to that direction. But, you never know with the testing, as we've seen. You know, there's already been games postponed and canceled. There's like 25 teams nationally that are shut down. The benefit we have is the everyday testing. I think that's, and our, you know, I would be remiss if I did not give a huge shout out to Henry Perez-Guerra. Our trainer has been working night and day. That man has been unbelievable all the way back to June when we tried to put this together to what coming back was going to look like. And all of our people in this athletic department have really, because there's been so many cuts and layoffs and those things, we've had a lot of people really step up to the plate to give extra and help in departments that normally they don't work with. I see Chris Hall even running the camera right now, go over and help with the COVID testing on some days. So
Dr. Hall.
Adam and everybody. I mean, it's just been an unbelievable group effort to watch a department come together and try to rally to help everybody.
I know you miss your fans in here on a day like this too, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and that's, you know, we always love our fans in here, but our fans would love watching this team play. And that's what I feel really bad about, that they're probably not, at least in the immediate future, not going to get a chance to see them in person. But this team has been fun to coach, and they're going to be fun to watch play. I don't know how many games we'll win, but they're going to have a lot of fun getting after it and competing.
Well, I know fans appreciate you and your guys letting this in, letting fans in to take a look at this team. Look forward to watching it, Greg.
Hey, thanks for coming in and doing this today.
Absolutely. Badgers head coach Greg Gard. Luke, we got a football game.
Yeah, that's good news.
So that's a good news.
It really is good news.
We will not be taking the private plane to Ann Arbor. We'll be heading over to Camp Randall. We'll call it remotely. Badger football pregame show rolling on. Kickoff set just after 6:30, Wisconsin and Michigan. Thanks for watching.